Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Sinusoid. If you're looking for a cable and you're looking to give to a good cause, Sinusoid is still selling their Houston Gives cable. You can go check it out, sinusoid.com/Houston. All of the proceeds from that cable go to relief efforts in the wake of Hurricane Harvey, which, again, I mean, I realized it was a month ago, but those cleanups take a long time. They're giving to vetted charitable organizations that have boots on the ground. And basically all you are paying for with that, well, you're paying for a lot of things. You're paying like the normal price for cable, but all they're going to take from it is the cost of materials.
They're not even doing cost of labor on it.
Yeah,
they're giving their labor for free.
Labor's free. The overhead's free. Everything else, like, they're just donating.
It's a really attractive cable, too. I've been seeing people post pictures of theirs as they come in. That's right. People are already getting them.
We're going to be posting a picture of one.
Yeah, you ordered one.
I've got one. I've got the 15-footer coming in. That silent jack was really that really sold me.
Oh, yeah?
Because I'm always like,
whenever
I'm playing acoustic, like, I'm always like unplugging my acoustic. So I would like a silent option for that.
I know a guy who his big trick was that he knew how to unplug his acoustic in just the right way to where it wouldn't make a noise. Like, he practiced this.
Right.
But if you don't want to waste 10,000 hours of your life training yourself to perfectly unplug an acoustic guitar, silent jacks are great.
Anyway, go check it out. Sinusoid.com. Great cables, great guys. And smiles.
And smiles. Great cables, great guys, and smiles. I like it, Steve. Hey, this is Ryan.
And this is Steve, and you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, playing, reviewing, bricking, and some other stuff podcast.
Oh, man, I don't even want to comment on it this time. What's new with you, Steve?
I got my Tonal Recall.
Oh, you did? Because you did that trade for, it was like a Mexican Strat?
Yeah, I traded a Mexican Strat for a Tonal Recall, so I'm now basically... I would say I'm about $213 in the hole on that Stratocaster, which means I think I got tons of room to flip on that Tonal Recall.
Nice. Once again, proving that the Mexican Strat is basically currency.
Also, if anybody's interested in a mint condition, never been played, 60 Cycle Hum Pelican Noise Works 50/50. I may or may not have one for sell on Reverb.
For sell on Reverb?
For sell on Reverb.
What would the price be on yours for sell for Reverb?
Mine is currently listed for $449.
You know, that's not that crazy anymore.
That is a list price. And, of course, as we all know, Reverb is all about the haggle. So, and...
Didn't someone recently sell theirs off of Reverb for $300?
I believe somebody did get $300. Somebody else got $200 for theirs.
That's crazy.
You know what I've realized?
Those are both positive... sales, positive return on those.
So I have two thoughts on this. The first one is,
do we get more made? Or do we? Does everyone who bought their first run do we wait till they all sell it?
So my first thought is that when we get the second run, because I think the plan is to just we're just going to pre-order them all and sell them one by one.
Yeah.
Instead of doing basically we're going to front it versus what we did last time, which was a pre-order. So my thought is that when we get them, we should just list them all on Reverb at no offer, the standard list price. In turn, until all of those units are gone, it screws everybody who wanted to flip but didn't.
But if we do that, then Reverb gets their cut. Where if we just sold direct...
That's true. So we're going to have to go figure out what Reverb's cut is and increase
just
up our price by...
Up at $4.
4% or whatever. The second thought I had is we've told all of the Inner Circle guys who got theirs for a lower price, perks of being in the Inner Circle, that they only get the lower price once. So if they flip it, they got to buy their second one at whatever price they can find theirs at. But I was thinking about how I didn't buy my first one.
Oh, Steve.
So I still can use the inner circle price one time.
Steve, you're trying to bend the rules as a host? Dude. You bought yours with your effort into the show,
That's
Steve.
true. That's true.
That was your
190
purchase.
episodes. That is at least like 300 hours of podcasting.
Oh, absolutely. Ridiculous. You're nowhere near close 10,000 hours, so we're not perfect at this yet.
You ever think
I put
about
the wrong
like
emphasis on. I put too much emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yep. I think we may have talked about this like back around episode 160 that literally like you could listen to just this podcast for a week straight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which when you think about like the bigger name podcasts, like people on large networks who have, tens of thousands of followers, like tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of subscribers, some of these, it doesn't really seem like that big. Like, was it How Stuff Works? I think has like 800 episodes.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
Their back catalog is just insane.
They've been doing it for decades now, though, right?
Yeah, but for like a couple of guys who barely know anything, who set up in a garage in a suburb of a minor city in the major country, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I have no idea where you're going with it. I don't think of San Diego as a minor city. San Diego is America's greatest city, isn't it?
It's America's finest.
Finest.
City.
Which one is the greatest?
I don't know.
We're the fine ones, though.
She's so fine.
We're just fine. This is the part of the show where you ask me
what's new with you.
I'm back from vacation.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
You
back.
look so pink.
I'm a little pinker, I think. I got a lot of sun. I was in the ocean multiple times a day, every day, snorkeling around, chasing fish.
I feel like I would. I don't think I love the ocean enough to enjoy Hawaii in that way.
Right. I was thinking about that as we were driving around our last day, like looking at everything that was around there. I was like, I wonder what families that don't like to swim do when they come here.
I think I could like just hike like crazy. In
Hawaii.
Yeah,
there's a lot of great hiking.
But I don't. I think I would be like. I could go in the water like. It's not like I would avoid it. I wouldn't not go in the water, but
sure.
I think I'd be like, okay, I did my swim for the day. Let's go do something that doesn't involve water now.
We got our condo so freaking sandy because we were constantly in and out of the beach. We were like a good 5-minute hike away from the beach.
Right.
So seriously, like my everyday schedule was when my kid would wake up, I'd go grab him and take him down to the beach and we'd go swim around for an hour,
right,
waiting for my wife to get her sleep, come back, make breakfast, then we'd go snorkeling as a family. Like my parents and my siblings are all with us too.
Right.
So there's 7 adults and a toddler on this trip. Then we all go snorkeling as a family. Then we get lunch somewhere. Then we'd go explore somewhere, probably end up snorkeling again. And then we would go wrap up at the pool.
Oh, jeez.
And then we'd, go get dinner. And then some nights we'd go and swim during the sunset. Literally 3 or 4 times in and out of the water. Completely ridiculous. Surprisingly, no one got really bad sunburns. We all just got, a little sun-kissed here and there. But to get it back on topic of the subject of our show, I did go.
Geography?
I did scope out some musical instruments while I was there.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I arranged over Craigslist to sell a pedal there.
Did you actually do it?
So the guy was in contact with me the day before I flew to Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Then I land, and he was all enthusiastic. He was stoked. He's ready to go. Sounded like he had money in hand. He's like, yeah, write me when you get there on Tuesday. So the day that I landed on Tuesday, I wrote him hey, I've got it. Let me know when and where you want to meet up. And it was just radio silence. The guy completely disappeared on me. So I had a memory man with Hazarai with me the whole trip and just brought it back with me. Which is pretty much a bummer, but it wasn't that big of a deal. And then also I went and checked out a ukulele shop. They have a brand of ukuleles there called Mele. That's how it's pronounced, I think. Mele. And it's made there on Maui. It's like a guy and like his sons or something like that make it, or his kids make it in their garage. But they've got a couple shops and then they export them out of there. But the guy in the shop like was going hard sale on me. The store was located in like a really high end mall in like a really super touristy area, like a golf course area of Maui. So I walk in and the guy just starts doing the hard sales speech on me. And I was like, whoa, take it easy, cowboy. I'm one of you.
Yikes.
I'm a player. I play guitar.
Are you
somewhat familiar with ukulele?
Are you a player or do you just crush a lot?
I crush a lot of ukuleles. Also, that's not true at all. I have 2 ukuleles and I haven't crushed any of them. But anyways, I beeline to the back of the shop where they had a bunch of their like import line, which is all like the $300, $400 ones. They have kind of like quirky things going on.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, those look funky. I want to try those out. Like they had a cigar box shaped one with a resonator cone in it. I was like, I got to try a resonator ukulele. That looks fun. And then there was one that was a banjo-lele, so I was playing around with that. And the guy is like, I can't have him playing around with these cheap imported ones. I'm going to school him on these expensive ones. So he grabs one off the wall, and he's like, here, check this out. This one is like same construction as those like $5,000 ones there on the wall, but those ones are made out of like, super top grade koa wood, like mega flamed or whatever. This one's made out of mango wood, same construction, different wood. This one's only $600. I'm like, yeah, that's already outside my budget. Like, I have like a $200 budget for ukuleles right now. But it got really interesting because he was showing me various ukuleles that were the exact same build,
right,
but different woods. He had like a mango one, he had a koa one, and I forget the other one. But it was all just showing me like different like tonal responses in the wood. Like the mango one was really mellow and almost guitar-like, and the koa one was just super, super bright. And the other one was kind of like in between. I wish I remember what wood that was.
He's got mahogany.
It might be
website. They're talking about koa, mango, and mahogany.
It was probably mahogany then. But they were great ukuleles. Here's the other thing. This guy, the whole time he's showing them to me, he grabs a ukulele, he plays with it. It's just incredible. Then he hands it to me. And I just fumble around with it because I'm not like a dedicated ukulele player. And the more I'm watching him play, the more my heart is sinking. And I'm like, I am not qualified to spend any more money on ukuleles right now. Because it's like a completely different musical discipline. And I'm, it's like when a guitarist picks up a bass. You can tell that it's a guitarist playing bass.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a guitarist playing ukulele. And I walked out of there like, until you get better with the ukuleles you have, Ryan, you really don't deserve to spend any more money on this instrument.
No, you need to spend more money because then it will force you to be like,
I've got to invest in it.
I spent all this money. I better actually get good.
Yeah, but all the ukuleles there were really nice. I was having a great time playing around with them. There's so many variations. Like you think of ukulele and it's just, a little 4-string guitar type thing. They have 6-string ukuleles, which they're not oriented the way you think. They wouldn't be like a little guitar lele. It's like a 4-string orientation, but 2 of them have doubled strings, like a 12-string. Like it's a whole like class of them. And they have 8-string ukuleles, and they do have guitar leles, and they have all these different sizes: soprano, tenor, baritone, all this stuff. It's crazy. There's so much variation just within that one instrument, and it's not like with guitar. It's like, you have baritone guitars every now and then. You have 12-string guitars every now and then. They're mixed in there. But with ukulele, it's like it's all over the map. There are like people buy across the lines all the time. It's crazy. So it was pretty neat to go check out a full ukulele shop for sure in Hawaii. Like see the whole thing.
In a ultra premium tourist mall.
Yeah, ultra premium tourist mall. Like this is a place that has like that crystal place. What is it? Swarovski? How do you pronounce that?
I should know.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
I think it's Swarovski.
Every shop they had there was like super high end, and then they've got this ukulele shop tucked in the back.
Tilly's, Marshall,
ABC store. Have you ever seen an ABC store?
No, what is that?
It's like a tourist shop. There they sell like whatever local candy and whatever goods.
Oh, weird.
And like tourist shirts and then
Is that where
it's kind
people
of like
stop to get all the load up on their Hawaii macadamia chocolate?
yeah, exactly.
Every
and all the novelty shirts, stuffed animals holding a little sign that says the location of where you are.
The Hawaii macadamia, that one cracks me up. That one's my favorite because that's what like every person coming back from Hawaii brings.
Yeah.
It's like this, and it's it's all the same brand. It's not just like like macadamia nut chocolate is the thing to bring home. It's always the same box. It's the same manufacturer, and they sell that crap at World Market.
Yeah, you can get it anywhere. They sell it at Costco here.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Sure, why not?
It's not. There's like 2 or 3 brands, but they're all the same. They all taste the same.
Sure, but it's just funny to me how it's always the same brand that like people bring. It's like I'm gonna go to World Market and buy like 3 boxes of it and bring it into work and be like, "Yeah, guys, I went to Hawaii over the weekend. I brought you guys some chocolate."
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's good. It's a fun dessert. It's yummy. It's a great way to get calories in your body. But I didn't buy any this time.
You know, it's a great way to get calories in your body.
I ate like 5 pineapples, I think.
Coors.
Yeah, I'm watching you drink that Coors. You just poured it over ice, Steve. What are you doing?
Destroying my life?
Yeah. That's like the craziest thing I've ever seen anyone do.
Okay, so here's what's going on is I poured rum water, basically. That's ice, and then rum and water. Just because it's that garbage King's Bay stuff.
Yeah.
So I got to smooth that out with some water.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this Coors is getting a little warm. I've got this glass of ice and like residual rum. That sounds like a party in a glass.
You're ruining yourself, Steve. You're going to get sick. This is not the way you drink.
This is all pro.
I don't know. I don't think that's professional at all. Steve thinks it's professional to mix water, ice, and
rum.
Water, ice, rum, and Coors. What are you doing to yourself, Steve?
I'm working on my mixology license.
Mixology? That is not mixology.
I'm gonna license this.
You just got it. If you were taking a mixology class, you just got an F. You roll into mixology class first day, like, show us what you know. Make us a cocktail right now. I'll put some water and some ice and some rum. And that's when like the professor's like, interesting. Where's he going with this? And I'll pour a third of a Coors in there. And the professor's like, get out. Get out of my class. You don't belong to be here. You don't belong here.
The ice and temperature just makes this taste like Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, gosh. It's going to have the reverse effect of Alka-Seltzer, Steve. That's not going to make your tummy feel better.
All right, let's get to the first topic.
I gotta try this. What did you do? It does taste like Alka-Seltzer. That is bizarre. You just made an Alka-Seltzer cocktail.
Telling you, man.
Okay, the mixology professor is going to be like, once he tastes it, he's going to be like, well, damn. You've done it. You've cracked the code. We've been trying to make an Alka-Seltzer flavored cocktail forever.
He's going to write F, and then
he's going to draw the leg.
He's going to take a drink, and then he's not going to draw the leg. He's going to. It's going to be as I'm walking out the door, and he's going to take the drink. And like everyone in the class is going to be watching him. He's just shaking his head. He takes a drink, and then his eyes get real big, and then he looks up and goes, "Sir, come back!" And then I walk back down. And he goes, and he says to me, "I'm not fit to teach this class."
The student has become the master.
Here are my notes. Proceed, Professor.
He sits in the back of the class.
He sits in the front of the class because he wants to learn from the master.
Well, I think we have our first signature 60 cycle hum cocktail. If you're taking notes, water, ice, the cheapest rum in a plastic bottle you can find, and a third of a Coors.
Yeah. Well, first you put the rum in water, and then you drink almost all of it. And then you drink most of the Coors. Then you pour the Coors on top of the ice, water, rum mixture.
Okay, here's the contest. Name this cocktail for us in the group.
How many people have stopped listening? All right, this first ad is sent to us by Ad Zant, Michael Van Zant. Sure, why not?
The first ad of about 600 ads, I think, that he sent us.
Yeah,
I'm on vacation. I'm checking my email once a day. The inbox is completely full of ads from this dude, from Michael Anzant, just flooding us with ads.
I kind of feel like I lucked out because by the time I got around to screenshotting everything, like by the time I had time to do it at work, like a third of the ads had expired.
Oh, really? Bummer.
Yes and no.
Sure.
It saved me like 20 minutes.
Well, also, like, let's be honest, the really good ads that make it on the show, they don't sell. They don't go down. They stay up.
That's true. That's true. Well, and I think a few of them had been renewed, and I just didn't realize that they were sent twice.
Sure.
But this one I really loved. Custom Fender P-Bass with tremolo. For sale is a Fender Squire Anniversary model with a tremolo. It has P&J pickups and a 1.5 inch wide nut neck, which is the same as a jazz bass. Bass is flawless. When I played it, I had a maple fretless neck on it. Beauty and function. Imagine a fretless bass with a tremolo. Has flat wounds on it because of the other neck, but will change out to round if you desire. Tremolo is styled after a Stratocaster. Don't judge the Squire until you've seen it. It's a really nice bass. So this guy's asking $500, which is kind of crazy.
It is a little crazy, but there was some work put into this. Go ahead. What do you have to say? You're the bassist.
I want to try this because it's so weird. I have so many questions about tuning stability.
Well, doesn't Les Claypool have a bass with a trem on it?
I don't know. Probably. He's weird.
He is weird, and it is fretless as well. So this guy is probably a big Claypool fan.
But I don't think this one that he's selling is actually fretless. I think he was saying the maple neck.
Yeah, he
was
had a
fretless.
different neck on it. But like, think about that. You're already playing a fretless bass. Where you can get as warbly on the notes as you want. You can slide around all you want, and then you throw a tremolo into the mix.
Yeah, Claypool does have a trem. It looks like it's a Cowler style.
Yeah,
trem. I mean, this could be great. I took a picture. The screen grab I caught was a body, so. But there is, like, if you zoom in on the last picture.
I've got the ad up here on my phone if you want to look at
it. You can see one, like, the trem.
You can do it, Steve.
The first question.
The cocktails.
First question I have is this a thing you can just buy?
The trem?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never even thought to look for it.
Well, that's because you're a normal person, Steve.
I guess. I will say, like, so he said this is an anniversary model body. It looks really good.
It does look. It looks really sharp.
Because a lot of the times, Squires I've seen in burst. I mean, this is very obviously like a multi-piece body, but it looks like it might only be like 3 or 4 pieces.
No, when I saw the picture, I was like, that looks like the grain from like a Squire guitar. It doesn't look like a premium grain.
But what I mean is, like, so I'm looking at this one picture and I'm only really seeing 3 distinct pieces.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And I've seen American bursts that were 3-piece bodies, older ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's actually pretty cool. Normally with Squires, I don't want to say normally Squires, but like at least the early Mexicans, like 90s Mexican bursts, they're not translucent.
Yeah.
They're like full spray, opaque, so you can't tell how many piece bodies they are. Like, I want to say that's how Adams is. Like, I don't.
The one that he sold.
Did he sell it?
Yeah, I think he sold it. Didn't he? Mexican Strat.
Sure, why not? This is an Indonesian neck, so it's not bad. The craziest part of this is the actual trem unit itself. I'm looking at the springs. These springs aren't like Strat springs; they're like Mustang springs. Like, they're extra thick.
Yeah, super beefy looking. I'm betting those came with the trem kit. Like, that's just what you need for a bass trem.
So I mean, if they hold tune. Again, like, I don't know.
This is usually we talk about things that have been upgraded in air quotes, and usually they land on a lateral move, a lateral investment, where it's like, okay, you've replaced parts that were worth close to what you put in. So it's like, doesn't matter.
The thing is, normally it's a replacement.
This is a complete modification, putting in something that literally wasn't there before. There was a standard bridge there before, but to install this required woodworking, required some major routing, and it looks like it was done very cleanly.
So all of what we've discussed in mind, this guy's asking 500. I still don't think I would go above 250.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the street value for these without the modifications, like stock?
125 to 175.
Is it really?
Yeah. Like
I feel like I would give him room around up to 325, 350.
I mean, he's saying it's an anniversary model, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
like, the Squire 20. Like like this is one of the for this time and this finish is like a nicer setup. But like I bought one of these in this same model, not the 20th anniversary, but the same model PJ, in the sparkle black finish. Mm-hmm. And I bought it cheap enough that I flipped it for like a very modest flip, but I definitely did not lose money on it. I think I got a free guitar stand out of it. So, I mean, 500 is really high in my opinion.
Well,
just because it's so weird.
Yeah, where modifications like this come from psychologically, I think, is you want to do something to a guitar, but then you can't bring yourself to do the weird thing to like a nice guitar, like your $800, like your $1,200 or whatever. And she's like, I'll try it out on this cheap guitar that I found. And so you sink, like $150 worth on the part, and then like $200 at a custom shop having someone do it professionally. Yeah. So you sink, $300 something into the modification on a $150 guitar so that you avoid screwing up your nice guitar, but then you're really just like throwing money off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if this modification was done on a Mexican, I think it's the Deluxe P that has the PJ configuration and normally sells for like $350 to $425-ish on the used market, or any like Mexican bass that normally sells like $300 to $350.
This bridge, I searched for bass tremolo, and I'm not seeing anything that looks like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never...
Because it looks squarely like a Fender-style bridge.
Right.
I'm not seeing anything else with that styling. I'm wondering where he got it. Because I wanted to get a beat on the price for it.
Oh, just for the part?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I bet he got it somewhere funky.
But yeah, like I said, if this was on like a Mexican Fender bass, I would at least understand the price.
Sure.
But trying to take a $150-ish bass and tacking on $350, which very well could have been the cost of parts and labor.
Oh, totally.
Well, parts and labor aren't really worth anything.
They're worth it when you're buying it the first time.
Sure. I mean, but they don't, especially like labor, like I don't think labor is transferable.
It's a tough concept to tackle. It really depends on what's going on,
If I buy a... Well, yeah, so I
like in the case of that Katrina guitar that we talked about, in that case, the labor was transferable because it transformed the guitar from unplayable to playable.
Sure.
The guitar was worthless. The labor made it worth something.
In that case, you're taking something that had value and then lost value.
Returning
value.
Yeah.
You can't say like, well, this guitar was $1,000 and then I had $900 in repair work done to it, so it's now worth $1,900. No, it's
right. I know what you mean.
You got it back to like square one.
Yeah, I still can't find this model of bridge. Interesting.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'd love to play this bass. Not for 500. 300. I think 300 is where I'm sitting on this thing. I think that's 300. I think that's a fair curiosity price where someone who's curious about it would be like, yeah, I'll pull the trigger on that instead of paying to have one done myself, which still makes it $200 overpriced. I mean,
sure,
the guy's gonna have a tough time selling this unless there's someone who really wants this specific thing and is not prepared to haggle.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any other thoughts on it. I'm really interested in the concept. If I found one of these in stores, then maybe I could be convinced that this is a thing that I should do to a bass that I own. Actually,
I could see you having fun with this sort of concept because you like to get kind of crazy every now and then on your bass. Like you do funky stuff.
Well, like you said, like I kind of just do that. Like I do what I can from just
sure
from the hand.
Just from the hand. All right, do we want to move on?
Sure,
and talk a topic.
Wait, what?
What, Steve? What'd you find?
Apparently, Hipshot makes a full floating bass tremolo.
Show me a picture.
I haven't looked it up yet.
Does that mean...
Well, because I was thinking about like the Classic 4. That's a...
This is excellent.
This is flying off the rails.
It's similar to a Crazy Train.
Yeah, not exactly like a
kind of like a Crazy Train.
Hipshot, your site doesn't work on my phone. All right, let's keep moving. Ryan, you got something when you were on vacation that everyone wants to hear about.
Yeah, so I ordered that Epiphone SL months ago, right after Summer NAMM.
True.
The video that I did at Summer NAMM took off like wildfire, so I pre-ordered one just so that I could mine it for more YouTube views.
Yeah.
Because it was seriously like the biggest thing that's ever happened to us on YouTube. So it finally arrived, but it arrived the day before I got back from vacation. So we were having our neighbor take care of the house. And I got the shipping notification, and we texted the neighbor and was like, could you please like keep your eye out for this? And if like FedEx is hanging around waiting for someone to sign for it, could you go sign for it? So
signature?
I don't know if they had the neighbor sign for it, but they definitely got the guitar in the house for us. So like I said, it arrived the day before I got back. I took the red eye flight out of Maui.
Just so you could get to your guitar sooner.
11 o'clock at night. Yeah, we changed all our plans around it. No, that was the plans already. Flew out of Maui at 11 o'clock at night. Landed in San Diego 10 o'clock in the morning because we had a layover. Buzzed home, unpacked. I fell asleep on the couch for about an hour and a half to like catch up for the sleep that I didn't get on the plane because I cannot sleep on planes. So I was up for, basically a day and a half.
Right.
Then immediately go into an unboxing video that I still don't fully remember doing because I was pretty like out of it. And it's kind of a loose video, and I probably would have done things in it differently and covered the guitar a little bit more thoroughly. But I'm going to do a lot more videos for it, so who cares, right? But it's here, so we can talk about it. Let me go grab this thing real quick.
Yeah, I got to mess around with it earlier. Your wife's insight on it I thought was interesting, which was, why is the neck the same color as the body?
Yeah, it's got the painted neck and headstock. I think it looks really classy. It's the same color as my shorts right now.
It is.
I have these turquoise shorts.
You should wear those in one of the videos you make.
Well, I need a shirt to match.
Just turquoise head to toe?
Yeah, everything turquoise.
I think I might have a shirt that's pretty close to that. It's also a little see-through now. It's been washed a lot.
Sexy.
Yeah.
So out of the box, this thing was interesting. The strings were completely slack on it, which I understand for shipping purposes,
Right.
It's probably a little better for it. So then I start to tune it up and try to play it, and the strings are just binding in the nut. The tuning pegs were what I reported from NAMM, where it's like they feel cheap and jumpy, but like it's hard to tell because I'm at NAMM.
Right.
And then the strings on it were just awful. Like really terrible strings that came on this thing. Have you ever used GFS strings? Like boomers?
GHS, you mean? GHS makes the boomers. But
GHS.
They're like the real
what did I
cheap
say?
GFS.
Oh, that's Guitar Fetish.
Oh, no.
GHS.
I'm thinking GHS Rockets. Have you ever used those?
I've never used those. So those always have a really dry feel to me, like really abrasive. The strings that came stuck on this were even drier feeling than this. Like it felt like they were sucking moisture out of my fingers somehow, which doesn't make any damn sense. So I unboxed this thing yesterday. Today, after getting back from doing band practice and doing some other stuff, I come home and immediately change the strings and then start messing with the action on it because the action was pretty high. And then I graphited the nut as well. I put graphite on the nut with just a pencil, just a mechanical pencil, And I feel like it's holding tune a little bit better now, and the strings feel way better, and the action's way better too.
Did you say? Sorry, I was doing some important social media work.
Of course.
Do you say you replaced the strings? Same strings?
I replaced the strings completely. because I hated the.
What'd you replace them with?
I put Gear Supply strings on there.
Okay.
I saw someone.
Well, there you go.
I saw someone online say that they went to a lighter gauge. They claimed that the SLs come with 10s on them, and they put 9s on, and they said it fixed some issues. I order Gear Supply 11s because that's just what I like. And they feel relatively slick to me. I like the feel of them. I've always been a big fan of the Dean Markley Blue Steels.
Right.
And these feel relatively similar to those, the same kind of like flavor of string, I guess I'd say. So this is just the string I've been using on everything for a long time now. But that immediately helped the feel of it, get rid of that dry feeling. It was so dry that like if I rubbed my finger along one of the unwound strings like I'm doing right now, it would be an audible squeak right now.
Weird.
Like it sounded like nails on a chalkboard, just my finger moving across it. You can't hear on the show, but Steve is watching me run my finger up and down the strings, and there's no sound. But it was like,
right.
I wish I'd recorded it. It was really bizarre.
Now, do you think you could have just gone, because I know you use I've
got that almond stick.
Almond stick. Do you think you could have thrown that on and it would have resolved those issues?
I could have, but I would rather, for video purposes and review purposes, just throw new strings on there and be like, this is what I'm using, it's not modified.
That's fair. I think that's fair, and I think anytime you buy something off the shelf or whatever, like sometimes the strings are what you want and sometimes they aren't. But like it's entirely possible that like other people are getting these guitars and that's the kind of string they're used to. So
it's totally possible. Fine. Yeah, I just couldn't handle it. It was driving me nuts. Another thing, if you look at the higher frets, there's some kind of gunk on them. I was noticing that as I was changing the strings, and I didn't clean it off because I'll just leave it as it is in case I want to photograph that later.
That's really weird.
To me, it looks like maybe it's gunk left over from the polish that should have been wiped off by the polisher, and it just sat there and got crusty. So there is a little bit of a fit and finish issue just on there, and it'll wipe off just fine, I'm sure.
Yeah,
as I get a rag on there.
I mean, I wouldn't wait too long because honestly, I'm looking at some of them and it almost looks like it's already like going patina on
I'm fine with that too.
Like it's kind of getting it kind of looks green.
Yeah, that's why I think it's the polish, because like old polish will kind of get green because there's metal in it, or metal gets into it from polishing things. What do you think of the fretwork on it? Like just the immediate feel. I
mean, I was playing around with this guitar earlier, and my only real complaint with it is that the action probably isn't. Did you mess with the action at all?
I made it lower. But it's not like I didn't spend a ton of time tweaking it. I just made it like I gave the posts on the bridge like 3 turns to lower. It was really high before.
So I think it's set up really closely right now to that Les Paul Jr. that I sold a few months ago. And the issue that you're probably going to run into is you're probably really close to the point where you can't lower the posts any further.
Yeah, they're going to buzz out
without.
I'm getting a little buzz there. Yeah,
without
like
trying to mess with the truss, and even then, it's going to be finding that counterpoint.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a hiss on the 17th, but that's still workable for me.
I would say like this guitar feels solid from like the 7th fret to the nut, and above the 7th fret it starts feeling high to me.
That's about right. This guitar feels like your budget Epiphone that we've seen on the market forever, that usually comes with a single humbucker or with a P90 set in it. It has that exact same feel. It just happens to be a different color, and it happens to have single coil pickups in it.
Yeah. How does it sound?
I think the neck pickup sounds really nice and huge and throaty. And I haven't been able to compare it to another guitar yet, like side by side, but the bridge pickup in comparison to the neck pickup is really thin and really bright sounding, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Do you think it's a height issue?
It might be, because the neck pickup is visually, it looks a little closer. I can back the neck off a lot probably and balance them out, but it still have this bass tonality of the bridge pickup. I'm really gonna have to spend some time with it and see what kind of music it lends to, what kind of effects it likes. I'm gonna do a bunch of videos with it.
I think
obviously.
it's going to lend itself to garage rock.
Oh, totally.
The only effect it will lend itself to is a Dunlop Crybaby wah and a Boss MT2. Oh, sorry, and a DS1.
Well, that was my other thought. The pickup on the bridge is so kind of bright and crispy that this is probably a perfect pop punk guitar. Like, just throw a bunch of distortion on there, do your palm muting, do some little licks every now and then.
The guitar that launched 1,000 pop punk bands.
Right, it's a Blink-182 guitar, whatever, or it's a budget Green Day guitar.
Right, they're big. They're big again.
Are they big again?
They're popular. They have a song on the radio right now. I don't know if that makes them big, but they do have a song on the radio right now.
So I think the fretwork on it is decent. It's not super sharp. It's not, super smooth. For a $99 guitar, I'm impressed with the fretwork. But otherwise, as a $99 guitar, right now my impression is, like, it's what we said. It's your typical super cheap Epiphone.
Right.
There's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing new here in the feel and the playability. It's just a new aesthetic.
So would you? Well, I guess the question would be, who would you recommend this to? Who would you say, who would you not recommend this to?
So a lot of comments people make on this that I've seen online, like the gear page and places like that, is like, oh, that's just a starter guitar for teenagers. And they'll say worse things than that I'm not going to repeat. But anyways,
most of those comments are personal.
Anyways, I don't think I would recommend this as a starter guitar.
Really?
This is a guitar that you buy, that someone who, wants to do some tweaking and wants to have a project should buy. I've been thinking about this concept ever since getting this one and getting some other budget guitars in and around. There's just a barrier for someone who's beginning if they get this guitar. There's a setup barrier.
Sure.
There's a difficulty of playing barrier if you don't know how to do a setup that a beginner shouldn't have to deal with in our modern age, when you can spend $50 more, $100 more, and get a guitar that won't have those issues and will be a much better launching pad into playing guitar for the rest of your life.
There you go, guys. You heard it here first. Epiphone SL sucks.
Well, it doesn't suck. I'll counter myself by saying I don't think it sucks. It's still a $100 guitar that is playable and makes sound, and its biggest feature, in my opinion, is it looks cool.
I think its biggest feature is the body.
It looks really cool. The body is the biggest part of this guitar. Yeah. It depends on if you're measuring mass or if you're measuring length.
Oh, I was measuring mass.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely got more mass than the neck, which is the runner-up for the biggest feature of this guitar. But I think the looks go a long way with this guitar. For $100, I have a feeling we're going to see this in the backgrounds of a lot of stock photos of photographers dressing sets with guitars that they buy for cheap, and we're going to see these hanging on man cave walls. We're going to see restaurants putting their sticker on it and hanging it, like in TGI Fridays or whatever.
Gross.
But they have a cool look. They have a retro vibe. They are a playable guitar.
Yeah.
They're not a shredding guitar, but they're a playable guitar.
Yeah. Like I said, my initial impressions on this is it reminded me a lot of the Epiphone Les Paul Jr. I had, which I sold because it was okay. It was just the okayest guitar. Yeah. It's probably the okayest guitar that I've ever owned. So I sold it.
The counterpoint, I'm saying there's better guitars out there. The counterpoint, that Mustang, $150 new. It only comes in 2 colors, which are boring. But that thing...
Black and blue?
It comes in black and blue.
Gross.
Yeah. That thing is a secret shredder. That thing plays great. The pickups sound really good. I'm considering not swapping them at all right now. All the hardware on it is fine. The tuners are fine. So that's a guitar you could get. Other than this, if you're looking for playing guitar and you're in that budget window. Also... that Dean Custom Zone, which is, you can pick those up for $80.
Right.
off of eBay and stuff
You're
like
talking about
that.
your pink guitar?
Yeah, the pink guitar,
Okay.
but you can get those in various colors. I think that's a great playing guitar. If you're looking only for playability, like that's a great guitar option
Right,
in
right.
comparison to this. But then those guitars don't have the visual appeal that this $99 Epiphone does, where you got some really fun colors,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a really fun pick guard, and you've got the single coils. So I don't know. It's a tough argument to make for or against this thing. It has some function, it has some features, it has a cool look, but then there's some issues to overcome with it.
Right.
That's my piece, anyways.
All right, cool.
Watch all the videos, guys.
All of them.
I'm gonna go put this back on the rack.
Multiple times. All right, we're going to keep moving. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. This is a Telecaster loaded body, also sent to us by Adzant. Nice ash body, 1 3/4 inch, 5 pound, 2 Alneco, 7.65 ohm pickups, 57 style, handmade copper guards for controls. Standard neck pocket. Any Fender neck will fit. Questions, just call. It says this is a Telecaster loaded body, but it seems to be missing some parts.
Yeah. What's the normal weight for a Telecaster body, you think?
I don't know. I would have. I mean, 5+ pounds is probably fine.
That's pretty light in my guesstimation.
I've
here.
never weighed one.
This
My
this
Telecaster
guitar
is super heavy. That's all I can tell you.
This guitar is missing wood.
Yeah. As routed out as it is, I would expect it to weigh less.
Yeah, I would expect this thing to be under 4 pounds with how much wood is missing. We'll describe it here. It's your standard Telecaster shape. It's got a really funky pick guard on it. I don't understand what's going on there. Copper guard is what it says.
Yeah, no,
But it looks like
an old school style.
It looks like someone cut it out with 10 snips and then like hammered it. Like it looks really rough. And it doesn't look shiny at all. It looks like a weird piece of brown leather or plastic or something like that. But then around the core of the body, like the square of the body where the pickups and the bridge are, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes routed out all the way through the body, leaving kind of like this structural shape.
Yeah.
Like beams in between the holes, like supporting the outside rim of the guitar. And I've seen this sort of thing done before and have it look attractive, but I don't think there's anything attractive about this.
I thought this looked okay. I agree with you. The guard looks like it was done like in a rush. I don't understand the weight comment. Just some cursory reading. It seems like this isn't necessarily light. Most solid bodies, it seems like, are like more in the 6 to 7 range. But again, this is missing a bunch of wood. It sounds like the neck and tuners are going to add like 1.5 pounds to it. So this is going to round out somewhere. I guess the question is when he says nice ash body, blah, 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 5+ pounds, is that just the body or is that the body and everything else? So if it's just the body, then that's like kind of average to heavy. If it's including all the hardware, like that's going to be okay. Because that's going to be, say 5.5 plus another 1.5. So you're looking at 7 pounds. That's pretty light overall, I think.
I just feel like this is a sort of body chambering that you're not supposed to see. Like this might have been done professionally to lighten the body to weight relief it. But then there's supposed to be like a top piece of wood over it and a bottom piece of wood behind it to cover it up, Yeah. I just don't think it's an attractive look.
You told me you were going to tell baked potato jokes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it says it's supposed to be a loaded body, but if, you ever seen a loaded baked potato, it's got extra stuff. It doesn't have less stuff.
Yeah.
That's my baked potato joke.
All right. That's it.
Thanks for reminding me, Steve. No, I think if I reminded myself, I would have built up to it a little bit more gracefully, but I didn't remind myself.
Whoa.
Do you think there's anything that could be done to save this guitar from its appearance?
You got to go full steampunk.
Like, is this a guitar that like it's from like a teen movie, and it just needs to take off the glasses and let down its hair, and then it's going to be ready to be prom queen?
No, because all of the solutions that I have to making this guitar cool make it nerdier.
Yeah, steampunk is definitely way nerdier. You could jam a crap ton of gears down in there and just glue them all in.
Oh, like I would wire in some stuff, like wire in a little dial.
Yeah.
When you play the guitar, it goes like thing moves.
You could line the insides of each one of those cavities with LED lights.
There you go.
And have a light up Telecaster that would look kind of bizarre. The thing, like down at the butt end of it, it almost looks like it was trying to be a peace symbol. I think this concept could have been done a lot better.
Peace.
Like someone tried something, and I think they looked at it and like, this didn't turn out the way I wanted. Now I'm just going to sell it, Because there's something there. Like if it was carved out along the full body, and then here's what I would do. I would carve out more along the body if I was making this guitar. I would have more supports spread out more evenly.
Right.
And I would have the electronics mounted in a clear piece of plexi so they look like they're floating in the hole. So you're seeing a lot more weight relief, more like webbing in between the pieces of wood.
Right.
And then kind of a neat, like, see-through thing.
Well, I mean, there is kind of like a little bit of a imbalance here. The upper Telecasters don't have a true upper horn, but like the upper bout, the removed wood is taken basically all the way to the edge, but the lower horn is completely intact.
Yeah. I would remove more of that into the lower horn for sure.
Yeah. And
I would remove wood in between the pickups as well. Like, just keep going. Like, make this thing a 1-pound guitar.
Right.
Well, we'll post pictures up in the episode description. Go check it out. Let us know in the Facebook group what you think, or on Instagram or wherever. I guess you can also comment on Podbean episodes. We got a comment a while back on something.
Yeah,
and it's like,
you
can comment on
this? There, but
if you use Podbean directly,
nobody's
comment through there. I guess
nobody's gonna respond to you.
Yeah, no one's gonna see it. No one's gonna care. So maybe don't do that.
All right, this next topic is brought to us sent in by Jonathan Michael Diaz. He says, with TC Electronics and Robert Keeley putting out all these amazing pedals, are we going to move to an oversaturation of companies putting out everything? It used to be most companies were known for one style of effects, and big companies like Boss were making everything. But now it seems that it's becoming a more common thing. And this was a topic that like people wanted us to talk about. Jason Fuzzmonger in the group, he said he was really the person who weighed in with like a thought that was kind of along my lines of thinking, which is that TC is closer to Boss than probably any other company out there right now. I don't know if I completely agree with that, but I can definitely see that perspective.
Yeah.
He says Keeley is like the high-end Boss. JHS and Earthquaker have a bit of everything too, and they're in the same market area. Wampler could be there, but Brian hates modulation.
Yeah, I think that definitely like sums up kind of the top of the market guys right now.
Right.
I think we can tackle this just as being like, is the pedal market oversaturated? Is it getting close to that? And I was having thoughts about that the other day, just in my alone thought time. This was thinking about the gear world, as I often do. And this is kind of the direction I ended up going. There's more than enough pedals out there right now for everyone.
Yeah.
So does that mean that we're oversaturated? Like if everyone in the world stopped building pedals today, there's still too many pedals. Like
right.
And is the demand is completely based on people wanting to try new stuff. There's not a demand based on scarcity. So is that sustainable? Is it sustainable for people to want to keep trying new stuff? And I think that's always going to exist to a certain extent. But, you know, if those articles we keep seeing are true, that guitar is dead, guitar is dying.
Guitar's not dead.
Yeah. What it really means is that, you know, guitar is going into a recession. There's a guitar recession where it's not the forefront, most thought about piece of music anymore.
I kind of threw it out as a joke, a little bit of a joke. There's this guy, his name is Mateus Asato. He gets a lot of love in different groups. He's really good. But somebody posted a picture of him. There was a screen grab from a pop artist named Jessie J from her like Instagram, something or other. And they posted, we were like, oh, look who it is. It's like, yeah, like it doesn't matter that for the most part, like Jessie J's music is like overproduced, pop, whatever, radio pop. Like there's still a guitar player somewhere.
Guitar is still all over the place. It's just like right now, it's not like Eddie Van Halen times or or Jimi Hendrix times where like the guitarist is the forefront of the band and what the person everyone's thinking about.
Exactly.
Guitar is still here and tons and tons of people are still playing it. It's just, it's just part of the band now. It's not this new sexy thing. But as, general interest in it drops and wanes away, I think we are going to see a pullback on the market a bit.
Sure.
Where there will be less, less produced. But then my counter thought to that is that as far as building effects goes,
right?
The cat's out of the bag, the genie's out of the bottle. Anyone who can read a manual for a while and cares about this thing is building pedals now.
That's what it feels like sometimes.
And
it's been that way for a while.
And a lot of these guys are not making 1,000 pedals,
sure,
100 pedals. There's a world out there of small builders who are making really low numbers of pedals and doing it in their free time or doing it as a side gig. And that market is always going to provide for the people who buy just out of curiosity because they're the ones out there doing some weird experimenting, coming up with, funky circuits and stuff like that. Where, TC and Boss and these bigger companies are experimenting with all the DSP stuff and whatnot.
Yeah. I think with TC just releasing the smorgasbord of tone, there's kind of, I say just like it was a while
almost
ago.
A year ago.
Oh, was it really almost a year?
Yeah. It's October now, dude.
Yeah. There's this, there was a feel that like they're kind of like trying to get like a mass market.
Yeah.
The attention of the mass market.
Well, they're trying to fill shelves and mom and pop shops and, Guitar Center in that budget range for the impulse buy,
At the same time, like I guess when I think of TC, I still think of like delays and reverb. And maybe that's just me being out of the loop a little on TC Electronic. But so, specifically the Flashback and the Hall of Fame, I can't think of like what their bigger name, like what their bigger product.
Polytune.
Well, I mean, like in terms of like a drive pedal,
right?
Like, what is TC's drive pedal?
They have the Dark Matter. They have the Mojo. They have I run out of them. I can't remember.
There are 4 of them.
They have
the Mojo, the Dark Matter, the Spark Booster, and the Spark Mini Booster.
2 of those are boosters, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. Like, I'm looking at their site right now. They've got the Ditto. They've got the Mini stuff. But I don't know if
they do a lot of modulations and stuff.
Right. So all I'm saying is like I don't know if I would say that TC is on the same level as Boss. I think they're almost approaching it from 2 different directions. Where Boss started out as an analog company, so they've always kind of had one foot in that camp. But TC
is purely digital.
It started with digital, and they've at least. I don't want to say they started with digital, but at least for their compact pedals, they started largely with digital, and they kind of their drives have been analog. And I feel like I'm kind of like focusing too much on the argument itself.
Let's backtrack for a second. The question is about market saturation.
Right.
Here's a thought experiment. What does full market saturation for guitar pedals look like? Is that a description of there's so many pedals and there's just so much on like like on the used market that just no one's going to buy new anymore, so all the companies fold? Like, is that full saturation?
I don't know if true full market saturation exists.
Sure. I mean, it's a mind experiment. It's theoretical.
Sure. So I think
do you think there could be a point of saturation where, you know, kind of all like the mid to low level guys just get kicked out? Like the people who are small builders, but they've become fully reliant on that as their income. You think that would be a mark of reasonable full saturation?
I think the mark of reasonable full saturation is probably closer to what you were saying the first time, which is, you know, when you hit a point that so I think the real mark of saturation is when a company, any company, puts out a new pedal and nobody and within 6 months, like that company has to pull the pedal off the market because nobody buys it. Not because it's bad, but because nobody cares.
Sure.
So I think that's really what the real market saturation is. And, you know, the Keeley's mentioned here. I don't know Keeley's numbers. I could be 100% off on this. I'm just going based on perception. Like the Bubbletron is a pedal that I see actually a lot of people talking about. The Red Dirt, like I don't see a lot of people talking about that. Mm-hmm. Here and there, maybe. Like I'm not saying that is a pedal that he should pull off the market. I'm just saying that like I don't like that's. You know, that was them getting into a segment of the pedal market that is already fairly saturated.
Right.
So,
well, isn't the Red Dirt I don't want to say just, but isn't it a production of one of their mods to like a Boss pedal or something like that?
I don't remember exactly what the Red Dirt is. I just know, I know people who have it and they love it.
Sure.
And I know actually Keeley just put out, a green version of the Red Dirt, or for like some kind of...
Is it still called the Red Dirt?
Deal?
Or
yeah,
it's
still called the Red Dirt.
Okay.
It looks like the Red Dirt was originally like a modded blues driver.
Okay, that makes sense.
But then their actual description said that makes it sound like the Red Dirt was based on a ton of modifications, but it was all started with Keeley's TS9 clones.
Gotcha.
Or not clones, but mods.
Yeah, mods.
Sorry, mods.
Well, you know, to be fair, that's how a lot of pedals start. Is someone modding. You know, they open up a Tube Screamer and they start clipping things and putting new things in. And they're like, well, now I've got my own pedal here.
Yeah, and so this is again, like I think there is a market for it because people are talking about it. But like I'm saying, the day that a company puts something out, a company that's fairly well known, maybe not the biggest, but like at least like somewhat well known. So JHS, Keeley, I would even say going smaller, like a company like a Matthews Effects or like a Fuzzrocious, they put something new out and literally like the entire market says, I've already got this other thing.
Sure.
Like that's that.
And that's a harder thing to measure, though.
It is and it isn't.
I'm looking at more like if
the person who built it like has those measurements because they know whether or not they sold any.
But I think that can just happen randomly and not have it be a mark of market saturation. Like it could just be like it can be branding, it can be marketing, it can be
and I guess
that's more like the demand for a single style of effect too. Like if someone comes out with like a wah pedal and people are like,
that's what I mean is like you'd have to in order to have complete market saturation, you're talking about all segments of the pedal market being oversaturated.
That's what I'm saying.
And even then, like how difficult, like really what you're talking about is builders building the same thing twice, because pretty much any company that has any sort of following has its diehard fans who they can literally like they could take a piece of poop and put it in a pedal and somebody will buy it. You know,
they don't even have to put it in the pedal; it can be on the pedal,
around the pedal.
Yeah,
who knows?
Come with the pedal in its own container.
I don't know. I think oversaturation. The only way that happens where we have a truly oversaturated market, or at least a dangerously saturated, what I would call a dangerously saturated market from a business perspective, is if digital emulation gets to such a sophisticated point and such a quality point or affordability point, well, it'd have to be quality and affordability point, that there's just no demand for discrete effects anymore.
Sure.
So the only people left playing them are people who are like old school and don't want to change, or people who just like want that aesthetic. I mean, you think about the number of people we see in different groups that are like, yeah, so I listed my entire pedal board for sale this past week because I'm getting a Helix.
Yeah.
So
They'll be back though. People, it's part of the cycle. People get
it is a cycle. I don't disagree with you on that, but I'm saying like eventually,
sure.
like you could have a scenario where people are like, I could buy this one pedal for $200 or $150 or whatever,
yeah,
or I could buy this piece of software for $100 and plug in this ultra low latency USB cable to my guitar, run it through my computer, and the software comes preloaded with 200 different effects, and additional packages are like packs of 50 effects for $50 a piece or whatever. So
I don't think we're ever going to see a full replacement of
Ryan,
this
is just a mind experiment.
Sure. All right, let's move on to the last ad. If you guys want to continue the debate on this, jump on the group. I'm really pushing the group this episode.
I know, weirdo.
Guys, just get on that group.
It's
not like our group is in trouble and we need fresh blood or anything like that.
It's actually been growing way faster than I'm comfortable with.
Kind of crazy. Also, we've had a big bump in our stats on the episodes. Welcome to the show, new listeners.
Watch, this is the lowest listened to episode of all
I don't
time.
know where all these new listens are coming from, but I welcome them.
All right, this was sent in by Wes Little. This is Banjo Box, free. Anyone want this box? Fits a standard banjo case. This is a Recording King box for a banjo. He asked a question with this. Let me see if I can find it. West wants to know. Well, I think he just kind of wanted to know, like, what is up with this?
Yeah, does anyone want this box?
Yeah, he says, not entirely sure why this is a thing. Do people put cases into boxes? I suppose if you're selling your banjo, maybe. I'm glad it's free, nevertheless. And that is what I do agree with is yes, I am also glad it's free, because if you bought this, if you bought this with a banjo inside of it, then you paid for the banjo and you just happen to have the box. But I will say, so when I shipped that guitar recently, I went to FedEx, which made it super expensive. Apparently, whether or not FedEx or UPS is cheaper is like completely dependent on like service locations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's so anyway. So I paid a lot more than I expected, but whether or not it was a bad price, I never bothered to figure out. But in FedEx, they actually have a box that is the standard acoustic guitar shipping box.
Which is crazy to me that they have a box just for guitars.
It is, but at the same time, hey, good for them. Because,
yeah, good for them.
Because finding, if I didn't get a box from you, I would have been kind of crazy. But yeah, I just I
spit it out, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised to see it in there. I think they're like $10 or $12 a piece.
Sheesh.
For these boxes.
So you get a free box, and that covers some extra cost.
Yeah.
I mean, people who are shipping guitars are always looking for boxes.
Yeah.
I wonder if the banjo box is the same dimensions as the guitar box. It looks like it's big enough. Banjos and guitars are kind of the same.
I can't tell just from this picture because it does look.
Yeah.
It looks large to me.
Also, I mean, even if I didn't play guitar, even if I didn't ship guitars, if I saw this pop up in my neighborhood, I'd go get it because I got a toddler, and that's like free entertainment for a toddler for at least 3 or 4 days.
So the box is the box is $20.
Sheesh.
So that is a lot, and it is actually called Guitar Box.
Well, when you flip that pedal, remember my cut.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of specialty boxes. There's also a bike box.
A box just for bikes?
There's a golf bag box. There is a golf club tube.
Man, they think of everything.
There's a tablet box. There's a small electronics, like there's all kinds of flat panel TV box, fits TVs up to 55 inches. There's just all kinds of like weird. There's a wardrobe box. You can fit it's got a tube in the top to hang your shirts from.
What? FedEx is in the business of making boxes. This is crazy.
Apparently so.
I love that all the shirts in there look like they're like Hawaiian shirts or something.
Yeah. You could have brought home all your Hawaii shirts.
I know. I didn't buy any when I was there, believe it or not. I didn't have a lot of time to do shopping. I was in the water so much.
So yeah, so free is a great price on a box if you're looking to ship.
You need boxes. If you're buying and selling, trading, fixing, whatever with your guitars, reviewing, playing guitar podcasting with your guitars, then you need boxes. Like every time I sell a pedal, I'm like, honey, where did I put all my boxes that Amazon sent me? You know, bags are the way to go a lot of the time, though. I'm a big into the bags.
I'm super into bags. You
get those free bags from the post office.
Jeez, I still need to make my video.
You use like 2 or 3 of them for padding, and then you stick them inside.
Yep.
The one bag, and it's all free. It's
I'll make a video one of these days.
It's like $7 to ship with those or something.
Yeah,
it's great.
So something like that.
I'm a big bag boy.
Something like that. All right. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far through all of our nonsense, especially this was an extra nonsense to kind of believe.
Yeah, super nonsensey.
Thank you, Sinusoid, for supporting the show. Go check out sinusoid.com. And again, if you're looking for a way to support efforts for these various hurricane relief groups, they are doing the Houston Cable. I believe. I don't know how long they're doing it. But I know I bought one.
Yeah. I mean, every time from now on, I mean, you got a 100-year guarantee on that cable.
Yeah.
Every time from now on that Houston is in the news for doing something great, you get to look down at your cable and be like, yeah, I helped them. It's
like when you buy one share from a company.
Exactly.
Like a symbolic share.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, yeah, I helped those guys get back on their feet.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome, Houston. Like if you ever tour with your band through Houston and you got that cable, everyone in the audience is going to see you and they're going to know. They're going to like pound their chest and like nod their head at you.
Yeah, you're going to get like 3 extra bras thrown at you that night. Or not, because
that's like double the bras of normal. Bras are expensive. I don't think
they really are.
Ladies should be throwing their bras out on just stages.
All right, this episode this week's song was brought to somebody,
our old friend,
from our friend Kenny Gregg. You can check it out. You can check out more of his music at kennygreggmusic.bandcamp.com. He's on Instagram and Twitter. His handle is @tellkenny, Tell Kenny. And he says he's available for weddings and bar mitzvahs.
To get married or to be bar mitzvahed? Is that what he's available to do?
I think to perform.
To perform the marriage?
Like to perform the music.
Oh, that does make more sense.
So this song is called ConformNATION. And hope you love it.
It sounds like it's going to get super political.
Yeah.
We haven't listened to it yet, so we don't know what we're in for. I'm sure it's great, though.
Yep. Okay, bye.
Later, guys.
America, By men of many nations and backgrounds. It was founded on the principle that all men are created equal, and that the rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Today we are committed to a worldwide struggle to promote and protect the rights of all who wish to be free.
This is America, you'll kill me before I'm done. This is America, this that is one. This is America.